done a pretty good job. We haven't been perfect. We haven't been perfect. But we've run a positive campaign. We've talked about a vision for the future. We tried to inspire people and bring folks together. And sometimes we slip. Over the last few weeks, I've noticed we kept on getting whacked, and sometimes we started whacking back. And here's the problem though: when you start getting into these bickering, tit for tat, approaches. Even though the press loves it, and when you don't do it, they say, "Oh, you're not showing enough, gumption. You're not tough enough. That's how politics is. It's a dirty, messy business. You gotta kneecap people." But so sometimes we slipped into that. We slipped into that, and we're not perfect. But here's the problem: when we do that, we're missing the point of this election. Because this election is not about Hillary Clinton. This election is not about John McCain. This election is not about Barack Obama. This election is about you. It's about your hopes. It's about your dreams. It's about your struggles. This election is about you. It's about the guy I met in Youngsville, who had 3 kids with cystic fibrosis and had lost his home because of medical expenses and still didn't have health insurance. It's about the guy I met in Marion who was forced to pack up the equipment that he and his father had worked on because the plant was being shipped overseas. And him describing what that meant, not just losing income, not just losing a job, but losing memories, losing a way of life, feeling his community breaking apart, losing a sense of pride and self-respect. It's about all the young kids I meet in urban communities and rural communities who don't have a chance. Who start off so beaten down, whose schools are so dysfunctional that they just don't have a shot. That's what this election is about. That's what we're struggling for. That's what we're fighting for in this election. We're fighting for you. And look, the American people understand this. And that's why we've been so successful in this campaign. And because we've been so successful, that's why my opponents have been trying to make this election about me lately. Oh, we don't really know him. Even though I wrote 2 books, it's all there. It's all there, words and all. We're not sure he shares our values. We haven't seen him wear a flag pin lately. He's got a funny name. He says he's Christian, but we don't know. And his former pastors said some terrible things, and so can we really trust this guy? That's the argument. That's the argument that's being made right now, because you know what? They can't win on the ideas. They can't win on the issues. And so what they try to do is make this election about my values and my ideals and my character. And so let me just close by telling you something about myself and where I come from, in case you haven't read the books. I was born to a teenage mother, and my father left when I was 2. So I was raised by a single mom and her parents, my grandparents. And my grandparents, they were raised in small towns in Kansas. They were raised in the Great Depression. They didn't have a lot. And they learned small town values: honesty, hard work, responsibility, community. And my grandfather after Pearl Harbor, joined the Army, and he fought in Europe in Patton's Army. And my grandmother stayed home with a newborn baby, born in Fort Leavenworth, and worked on a bomber assembly line as part of the war effort. And when my grandfather came home, there was a U.S. government who said, we were going to do right by this generation, and gave him a GI Bill, and that's how he afforded to go to college. And then that same government said, you know what, we're going to make everybody more prosperous if we help people buy homes. So they gave my grandparents an FHA loan to help buy their first home. And as my mother grew up, she was able to get financial aid so that she could go to college. And even though she was a single mom, trying to raise kids and work and go to school at the same time, and sometimes she had to